So, I wanted to come today and just talk about this new topic, right? Not a new topic, but something that really I hear every day from new clients and just from people online. And they're like, I'm eating right, I'm working out, I'm doing all these things, but nothing is happening. And I thought to myself, I have to come and do this live because we are still out of alignment. So many people, right? Because you can be doing one thing that aligns with using your blood type, but there could be multiple things, right? Your environment, your fitness, and everything as a whole. Like the puzzle is yet to be completed, and that's why things are not consistent. So I want to talk to my ABs and my Bs and my As and my O's. And I had to make me some notes because I want to make sure I stay on this because I want you guys to realize that it's more than just food, it's more than just fitness, right? So let's start with the ones that have jumped on here right away. Because we have some time today, well, a little bit of time today. So let's get started with who in here that has come in so far feel like they are doing everything. They're working out. Their food is right, but they're seeing little to no results. So if that is you, put a one in the chat for me. Put a one in the chat if that is you that is doing everything. Like I've been trying this for so long, and it's not coming. Like it's not, I see other people getting results and this and that, but it's not happening for me the way I want it to happen. So put a one in the chat for you if that's you, okay? Because I want to point out some things that could still be out of balance for you guys, okay? So I'm just gonna take some time to wait for some results here, some people to put some things. Okay, we got Miss Felicia that is saying this sounds like very familiar, right? It's very familiar. I mean, it was familiar for me because listen, I'm telling you, I was doing everything, and I was like, why is this not coming into balance? Like, why am I still working so hard and I'm getting not getting the results? Like, I'm eating right, I'm meal prepping, I'm going to the gym, I'm stretching, doing abs, killing myself. And the weight is not moving. And I'm specifically talking to my people that are on a weight loss journey and just a health journey, being extremely fatigued or exhausted, and that leads to, of course, decisions. So if you feel like when you're not moving, right, or you get irritated by being stuck, if your energy feels blocked, or you feel like you can't really focus on the things that you want to do, that could be that your body is out of balance. So if that sounds familiar for some of y'all, go ahead and start talking in this chat, okay? Because we want to feel like everything should be moving accordingly. So my ABs, right? Do you feel like Felicia? This is going to go to you because you're here, right? Do you feel like you're being pulled in many directions? Does that sound familiar over your last few days? This like you? Do you feel like you've been pulled in multiple directions, or any overthinking, or do you feel emotionally drained at sometimes? Just put a one in the chat if any of that sounds familiar to you. And, for myself, I've always felt in the beginning when I was not aligned, just I was overthinking and just moving too fast and thoughts were coming in my mind. Okay, so that's a sign for you, Miss Felicia, that there is some balancing issues, right? Some alignment that needs to be tailored in because when your body is working, when you're in balance, right? If you're in balance and your body is working, then you are more calmer, you are more aware, because you will notice that your energy will change when you're around certain environments, certain people. So you'll be able to feel that instantly when your body is in balance. Also, you're very logical and intuitive when your body is in balance. So if you haven't been feeling like that lately, then there is, some pieces of the puzzle that we need to put together. I'm not sure who Patty D1 is. So there's some pieces of the puzzle that we need to put together because type ABs tend to be very observant, just like my A's. Very observant, very easily to read between the lines. Hey, there was my A right there. Hey, Auntie Renee. And Auntie Renee, I want to ask you, Do you feel like it's you're easy the way that you move through life? Have you been always been able to read between the lines of what people tell you or show you? Have you been able to spot that people call it discernment, but some people have a heightened awareness of this just already genetically in their characteristics. So is if that's you, if you've ever been able to feel like that, let me know, because I know for me as an A, reading between the lines. I'm very much a deep thinker, very creative, very imaginative. So when I'm in balance, everything is calm. I can hear, I can see, things that I need to be doing. But sometimes, okay. So with that answer, Auntie Renee, it shows that there is possibly some alignment that needs to come into play or be redefined, right? It could be fitness, it could be environmental, it can also be food. So we just talked about the food things, the food changes that you were making last week. So how have you been feeling since you made those changes? Let me know, because listen, it everything gets clearer the more you change, right? It's not just about the food, it's not just about the fitness. And I think, for me, coming on live these last couple of weeks, I see a lot of people that have all the information. You've been feeling a lot better. I love that. We have the information, right? We know, these are things that, we should avoid, or these are things that we should eat. You stop the dairy. It's hard to do, but I'm so excited for you, and I'm glad that you did that, because now you're coming closer to how your body likes to move, how your body is going to thrive. So the more you start coming closer to your alignment in fitness and in food, and then also setting up your environment, your work, your home, all of those things will start to bring you into alignment. So think about it this way. Not saying we're at the bottom, right? Or people are at the top, or somebody's better than each other. Nothing like that. But say you're here, right? And you're not eating as clean, you're not working out as much as you can, or you're in an environment that is stressing you out, right? But you want to be here. Everybody wants to be here. And you start eating right, you move up. You start to do the fitness, that your body recognizes and is understanding, you move up. You start to change, your environment. You let go of some people, you let go of some places and things, you move up. So it's all about, what am I doing that my body, my biological characteristics, right? What am I doing to help me get here? Because you can be eating clean and still be in a toxic environment, and it's going to keep you here. You're still not going to be able to reach the top, and so for Blood Type Fit, and why I am here, good afternoon, happy Saturday, T-Bone, is to, help you reflect, help you see that, it's not just one or the other. It's not just adding in all of these things, all of these supplements, all of these regimens. Because one thing for most blood type is, you need to have the structure. You need to have the clearness. So we don't want to just be throwing everything in a pot and trying to do that daily, because then, like a lot of my A's, you get very overwhelmed, and you don't necessarily speak it out or talk to a lot of people about how you're feeling, because you may be the go-to person. So Auntie Renee, are you the go-to person? Do people call you and, ask you, advice, or, they need help with making a decision between this and that? Have you been called like that throughout your life? Because I know Auntie Renee is seasoned, y'all. You have myself as well, as an A blood type. We tend to be the people that people come that tend to be the person that people come to. Thank you so much for the hand heart. And yes, I feel overwhelmed sometimes. Yes, Felicia, that is very, very common, and that's another body signal between our A's and our ABs to get very overwhelmed. And in return, what happens when we get overwhelmed? Now the body is holding on to stress. And now it doesn't matter if we're eating clean, it doesn't matter if we're working out, the body still won't move, right? So aligning those things and removing the things that are making you feel that way can be tough, but it is necessary in order for you to get to the place that you want to be. So I wanted to just kind of Come on, because I know in our lives we talk a lot about the food, we talk a lot about the fitness, but that environment and the alignment of all of the things are why so many of us, and because I've previously been stuck, right? So many of us and people at like yourselves are not getting to this place, right? Or it's just taking an extreme amount of time, or you feel like you're getting here and then something just brings you right back down, right? Right, T-Bone? Yes. So that is some of the common things, right? Because with my ABs and my A's, right? When you're in balance, there are going to be some clear signals. So, like I said, I made my notes because I want to make sure I don't miss this because I'm seeing this over and over on through TikTok, through YouTube, just all of the places where, I go to the gym and I just see the alignment is completely off. So, these are some of the things when you're out of balance, right? How many A's do I have on there? Because I want to make sure I cover everyone's blood type. So, just drop your blood type in the chat for me, just so I make sure I speak to you guys specifically. Okay, so if you're A or O, you don't have to drop the positive or negative, because again, that's for organ donation and that's for blood transfusions and that's for pregnancy. But drop those in. Okay, so I want to make sure I speak to my O's. I want to make sure I know my AB is on here. ABs are on here. Oh, we have a B. Miss Betty is on here. Okay, and then I know we have do we have an O on here? Yes, we have O. B, we do have A. Auntie Renee is an A. And Felicia's at AB. Okay, so perfect. We have everyone on here. So let's talk about the O's first. The A's real quick. Okay, we know O's are the largest blood type, and we know that you guys are the standouts in the rooms. Okay, but we're gonna talk to the A's for right now, right? And I call you guys the processors, right? In my system, Align in 90, you guys are the architects. We are the architects. Yes, T-Bone. All blood types, they stand front and center. Okay. But my A's, right? The architects. That's what I call you guys in my system. We are the processors. So, deep thinking, it could be where we're buying something in the store. It could be in class. It could be in a room. We're always observant and watching and looking and really thinking and processing in our minds what we want to do. So many people think that they help us make decisions. We are all, yes, we are all important. We definitely are all important. But A blood types, we tend to know what we're going to do before it even happens. We don't need anyone to show us or make it clear to us. Halfway through the presentation, Auntie Renee, let me know if this is you. You pretty much know what's happening or what's going on. Even in movies, you're like watching the movie and you're like, oh, I know this storyline. Like, I already know what's going to happen. So that is typically when you're in balance, your thinking is calmer, okay? Yes, the thinking of an A blood type is calmer when you're in balance, right? Out of balance, you feel overwhelmed, you feel overstimulated, you feel mentally drained. Those are some of the things and some of the keys that you can look at to say, okay, what do I need to change, right? Which is why when you walk into a space that is cluttered or is filled with people, you will hang back and watch and then move. Versus, like my O blood types, they walking in the room, they going to the front and they're looking because people are looking at them, right? So those are my O blood types versus my A blood types. Secondly, if you're an A blood type and you feel tension in your body or you feel anxiety, what they call, right? They call anxiety, I say overstimulation. That is a sign that your body is out of balance. Okay. Because when you're in balance, you're able to read these environments, read people. You're also able to be present in what's happening versus thinking about what you have to do next. So that's another, kind of sign that you can pay attention to, right? Let's move on to our O blood types, T-Bone. I'm glad, yes, and that's the thing because there's so many people on these platforms, and like I said, I can give you what to eat, I can give you how to work out, I can give you those things, but if you're not able to recognize the signals that are already embedded in you, then it will be hard. It still won't be a full puzzle for you. So that's why I wanted to switch gears and just really help people understand what alignment looks like when it comes to your food, fitness, and your environment, and then what out of alignment looks like. So with my O blood types, I call y'all the movers. You guys are the activators in the Align in 90 system, okay? Look, and see people saying yes. You are the activators, right? The movers. So my O blood types, do you feel like you feel best when you're on the move, when you're, whether it's physically or you're just making moves when it comes to being a leader or, in your workplace? Do you feel like that's accurate? Are you a mover per se? My O blood types, put a 1 in the chat if that sounds familiar. To my O's, put a 1 in the chat if that sounds familiar. I just joined okay, so I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna hit the A's again once we get through our list, because I was talking about us, Ash Gregory. And so if you are experiencing some anxiety, right, it's meaning that your body or your environment is out of alignment, and I'll touch on some of those things that could be forcing you out of alignment, okay? But when it comes to my O blood types, right, out of balance, this is what it looks like. Low motivation, sedentary. When you're sedentary, you're not moving, right? So you don't feel good when you're just sitting for long periods of time. Thanks for the heart, me. Also, your energy feels heavy or it feels blocked. If you're an O blood type, that is a sign that your body is out of alignment. Okay. So what it looks like when you're in balance is that you're active. So a lot of my O blood types, I know I asked this question a couple of days ago, is how many of you are actively working out? So if you're not actively working out, your body is out of alignment because it's not built to be sedentary. So if you have a job or career that keeps you sedentary, that is contributing to a lot of the way you feel. Maybe it's in weight gain. You notice that ever since you took this particular job, and now you're sitting instead of traveling to different offices, and now you've gained weight. Now you feel overwhelmed, but that's because your body is out of alignment. My previous job was stressful. Okay, see, so now we're hitting. So now, T-Bone, when you made that move to the new job, did you immediately feel a sense of relief? Wow, every time I come here, I learn something new. Yay, love built life. That is what I'm here to do. So T-Bone, let me know when you moved to that new job, was it an immediate sense of change that your body felt, or did you recognize that change when you were in a new environment? Some of the other things, you may feel irritated, my O blood types. You may feel stuck by being in the position that you're in. But when you're in balance, right, you're clear-headed. You're clear-headed when moving. You release stress physically. So always, oh, see, that's so good. Okay, so it was immediate. I gained weight. Oh, see, there we go. It wasn't by choice, but it's better. See, this is why I wanted to do this live today, because that's an initial recognition when it comes to out of alignment and now in balance, in alignment, right? When you're sedentary as an O blood type, you can instantly gain weight just from being in that environment. So now your actions are not what your body is used to. Right now, you're not working out, but an O blood type, that body loves to move. That body loves power and intensity. But when you're placed in an environment where you have to sit for, say, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours out of the day, now the time has passed. Now you have kids coming home. Now you have to make dinner, and now it's on to the next day. So we didn't get a chance to work out, which is what your body is hungry for. I gained weight because it was in an office job and you wasn't moving enough. That is it right there, T-Bone. And you could have been still eating right. You could have still been, and let me know, T-Bone, what did your food change Did your environment, of course, change? So we know that that was the component we talk about. We know that the moving, the physical change. So then the food changed. Okay, so there it is. So all three areas that your body needs, it was out of alignment. So remember saying you're here, right? She was here, and then the office, the environment changed. Then the food changed. Then the physicality changed. So now we're trying to get back up. And she got back up by moving to another position or another job that kept her moving, which is what her blood type is thriving for. So that's what I want a lot of you guys to pay attention to, right? Your environment, in combination with, are you moving or not moving, as well as your food. Okay. So now let's touch on our B blood types. What do I do as an O? Healing from an injury and movement is limited. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, right? Any sort of movement, right? When it comes to being an O blood type, right? Of course, you have to take your circumstances into play, but whatever you have outside of that, you can still do, right? So, whether that be, hand weights, or it be bands or anything like that, right? As much movement as your body can be, as much transition into different environments your body can do, will help you thrive. Okay, that's one key I can give you. Now let's move down to our B's, right? Our wonderful B's. And I saw Betty was a B when she came in. So this is the only blood type. Well, ABs are similar, but this is the only blood type that I would say not to restrict the environment, right? Because they don't want to be in structure all the time. It really helps. And if you are in a place where you are forced, environmental wise, to be in the same place doing the same thing over and over every day, you may feel overwhelmed. You may feel inconsistent. You may feel that when you are overwhelmed, that you pull back. You don't really voice how you're feeling, or your opinion to change the situation that you're in. You don't feel like you're doing much. You don't feel like you're thriving or you're making a difference when you are placed or forced into a structured or schedule. Miss Betty, I don't know why I'm saying Miss Betty, like you just act like you just got to be older than me. But because my best friend's mom name is Betty, and I always say Miss Betty. So does that sound familiar to you? Are you placed right now in a restrictive environment? Like, are you able to move freely between work and home? Let us know in the comments. When you're in balance, you're very easygoing, very flexible, whether that be decisions, whether that be work or home, kids, anything like that. Oh, you're sedentary. Okay. So are you feeling a bit inconsistent right now when it comes to, are you sedentary as far as work? Let us know in the comments, because your energy is more balanced when you're in alignment. You're going to be more flexible, more easygoing, so your mood will not be all over the place. Some people think it's their hormones, but sometimes it's your environment. You're going to be more creative, so that's where the juices get to flowing. Like you're able to be productive and complete. Because on the other side, when you're out of balance, right, which typically you tend to be more procrastinating, you tend to be more of a procrastinator, or passive, you'll be more creative and more not structured, but more adaptable, I would say, when you're in balance. Yes, tired, older than, okay, you are older than me. Okay. So I can say Miss Betty then. Yes, because her mom is in her mid 70s, and I always say Miss Betty. So my mama raised me like that, just to be super respectful. So that's another thing. And you guys are like the balancers, right? That's why I call you the Voyagers. When it comes to blood type fit and the Align in 90 system, you guys are the Voyagers, because change helps you thrive. Versus like myself as an A blood type, structure and schedule is where my body performs the best, where my clarity is the clearest when I'm structured. Now, I don't like to be boxed in, but I do like things to be professional, for them to be done accordingly. A blood types, let me know if you're in here. We like things to be done accordingly. Like you say you're going to do them, we want you to complete it that way. We want you to stick to, what you said you were going to do. That's how we thrive. And when that is off, Or say you come to work and you have a whole new set of rules, or a new manager, or a new team. You kind of sit back because you don't like the change as much. My A blood types. Let me know if that sounds familiar. I've seen a few A's that dropped in. So if that sounds familiar to you, throw a one in the chat for us. Now my ABs, okay? We're going to get to my ABs now. So this is what out of balance looks like, right? So you tend to overthink. Now, Felicia, you let us know. And whoever else is an AB. How many ABs we got? We did actually talk about this with Felicia, that she feels also pulled in many directions. So if you're AB and you're starting to feel like, home is pulling you this way, environment's pulling you, work is pulling you this way, and you're not even doing anything actively fitness wise, that means that your body is out of balance. Because when you're in balance, you are more calm, just like an A. We're more calm and more aware. As an AB and A blood types, when your body is in balance, you are sharp. Okay, you make decisions accordingly. Even if you're working on a project or a homework assignment, it gets done accordingly when you're in balance. And then my ABs, this is a big one for you guys, because this is the only group I would say that notices this. When you're balanced, you can actually structure your time alone and your time with people. Okay, because ABs, you definitely thrive when you have some time alone. Okay, Felicia's here. She said, yes, that is true. So if you feel emotionally drained right now, if you feel misunderstood, because that's another key point, especially when it comes to relationships, right? I want to touch on this because my ABs tend to be, I've come across, my clients have 3, and then I have a best friend and my little cousin. They're all AB and they're all in relationships with O blood types. So this is major, okay? Hear me clearly. You will often feel misunderstood because the body of and the characteristics of an O operate on the complete opposite of the spectrum than an AB, okay? So when you feel misunderstood is because your body is out of alignment, okay? So you'll be able to be more observant, more calm, more aware when you eat and work out and align your environment utilizing your blood type, okay? Because most of my ABs also have an influx of animal protein. They have an influx of, they typically don't work out, okay? They walk and they do things like that, which is conducive to the lifestyle of an AB. But the food is different. Either you're just snacking, you're not really eating whole meals, or you're not paying attention to your environment. It's too much, too fast for the way your body is structured. Don't we have neutral blood types? Neutral as in balance, as in awareness, intuitively, yes. Those are the Bs and those are the ABs. They're very balanced. When they come into a room, whether it's work or home, they bring the balance. But you can only bring that when you are in alignment. Because when the body is in an uproar or fighting, for its life, when it comes to food or fitness, your body is thrown out of alignment. So that's the key essential thing. So when it comes to, as we're seeing in the comments, and I love this, right? Is it J-A-O-N or Ja-O-N? I love this because often in my chat, which I'm going to start pointing out, I can see when my O's are out, right? I love my O's because they ain't really worried too much about nobody else. Okay, they worried about themselves. It's not a bad thing. Okay, it's not a bad thing. You guys can be considerate, but often we're talking about, okay, get to me. Okay, that be the O blood types. Is that y'all in here? T-Bone, come on, y'all, be honest. We got the see, y'all see, right? We're seeing the characteristics, right, of our O's, right? Very, I'm a different O. Okay, you said it differently. Infinite Solution says, yep. Jawa says, LOL. So, not in a negative way, right? This is just the assertiveness. This is the leadership in them. This is the, what's another one I can use for you guys? This is the strategic. Oh, you said the Aries? Oh, yes. So all of these things, right, are natural characteristics that I want a lot of people to start understanding and paying attention to, because with that you will start utilizing your blood type in every aspect. Okay, this is the code, right? So going, let's do a recap real quick, right? So with I started with the A's, as I will again O's. So hold on, I'm more worried about others. Okay, T-Bone. So that's the carrier side. So we also have to check those genetic lines, right? Remember I mentioned that before on my last live. I myself being a blood type, but I'm coming from an AB blood type and a B blood type. So for me, I carry all aspects, okay? And my ABs, this is my A's, my ABs. I want you to track your line if possible, to find out what your mom was and what your dad was, because a lot of you can be carrying all of these traits, right? You'll have a little bit from here, a little bit from there. People say it's your zodiacs, but a lot of this, I trust my biological characteristics and my fingerprints more than I trust when it comes to the planets. But that's another story. So recapping, right? Starting with my A blood types, out of balance. This is what you may notice. Okay, so you may notice that you're overthinking a lot, becoming overwhelmed with all of because we have very busy minds, right? We're very creative and imaginative as far as thought. So when your mind is racing or you have all of these ideas, if your body's not in balance, you won't be able to filter. Okay, I knew T-Bone was a Pisces. I knew it. Okay, what's your moon though, T-Bone? What's your birthday? Give me the dates. Drop them in here. My parents. Oh, okay, my parents are both deceased. Is there a way to find out? Not unless where they were born. If you have their original birth certificates, Auntie Renee. I know that back in, because my grandmother was born in 1938, I believe. And my mom said on her birth certificate, her blood type was on there. So maybe track back to their birth certificates to see if their blood type is on there. All right. Oh, Kimberly Denise said, okay, 3-5, I'm 313. Come on, Kimberly Denise, drop your date on there for us. So out of balance, right? Back on task. See, this is why I have to have notes, because I have to start preparing for my lives, because I'll get out. My mind is racing right now. 313. You know I gotta pin it. Come on now. You know I got that's mine as well. But my moon is Aquarius. Okay, back on task, y'all. Back on task. So out of balance for our A blood types, okay? But we have the Libras. We have another 927. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. And are y'all both O's? Are y'all both O blood types? Y'all are. Infinite Solution and Queen McQueen are both O's and both the same blood type. Now that's interesting. Okay, back on task. Okay. So my A's, right? The architects, the processors, okay? Out of balance. If you're feeling like this today, in your past weeks, if you're feeling like you're mentally overloaded, right? You have all of these ideas coming in, you're not able to clearly filter them or stay on task for a period of time, your body is out of balance, okay? If you feel tension in the body, when you're driving, right? When you're driving and you're A blood type, if you're holding your position or you won't relax your neck back, right? You're just sitting at attention, or you're gripping, you find that you grip your weights or you grip your steering wheel, that is your body holding on to stress, okay? That means your cortisol levels could also be high, so check into that. If you also shut down, whether that be in a conversation at work or whether that be in a relationship where you just don't even want to talk about it, you good. You're in a space where you can't filter what you want to say and you don't want to, say something that you can't take back. That is also a sign. If you feel overwhelmed by structure or by pressure, whether that's building a business right now or a pressure to be, the parent you want to be, or you have the schedule with the kids or the family, if you feel pressure, like an enormous pressure, at this time, your body is out of alignment. And that will show you in what you're reaching for. If you're reaching for comfort foods or snacking, if you're not sitting down and having whole meals, if you find yourself standing when you could just be sitting or relaxing, that is showing you that your body is out of alignment. Okay. Because what imbalance looks like, you said, now listen, this is for my okay. So my O's is feeling like, so I wonder, T-Bone, you have an O in your line as well. I'm gonna get to yours. McQueen says yes. Okay, so y'all feeling the effects of A's. Now remember, we can have A's and O's in our line, right? So when you're imbalanced as an A, you are able to think clearly and calmly. You're able to decide quicker. You're able to move through projects smoother. Okay. So you'll be able to complete things, whether it be creatively or work or home, quicker. Okay. If you're sitting in the midst of a room and you know you want to get up and clean up, but you just cannot move, like you can't physically do it, or you start and you don't finish, your body is out of alignment. Okay. It could be out of alignment with your workout. It could be out of alignment with your food or your mental environment, right? Where you sleep, where you eat, where you sit. All of that could be, could be down to the colors or the scents that are in your home that are not conducive to your nervous system. Those things put your body out of alignment. That is my A's. Also, we are able to, and I say we are able to, when we're in balance, in alignment, read people very quickly. You may find yourself being able to read between the lines. That's why we always have an issue with interrupting someone's point, because we kind of know what they're trying to say and they may be beating around the bush. All my A's, if that's you, put a 1 in the chat. If you are an A blood type and you can kind of finish the puzzle, oh my God, that's me. I want to know, T-Bone, is your mom or dad an A blood type? Okay, let us know. That is what is happening. Okay. Now let's get to the O's, because O's and A's, remember, are the best couples, right? Not the best. I'll say they're thriving higher than my B's and my O's. Okay. Hey, Sharonda. They're thriving higher as a couple than my B's and my O's, my A's and my O's. Okay. So this is why we feel each other a lot. So out of balance for my O blood types, right? Your motivation is low. You're irritated but stuck. So you're not really making the decision to move, but you know you need to move. Okay. Your energy feels heavy or it feels blocked. So if you're an O blood type and you're not actively working out, and say it's been some time and you're like, oh, I know I gotta work out. I do that all the time. I was just, you be interrupting people. I was just talking about not finishing my task at home and work. Yes. Okay. So this is the thing, right? If you're also an O blood type and you're sedentary and you're not physically moving, you know that you don't like the position or the job, or you know that you don't like where you are, but you haven't made the decision to move because your body is out of alignment. Okay. Because when you're in alignment, your body is very energized, it's very active. So you're like we heard T-Bone say, when she was sedentary, she wasn't really moving, and her body, she gained weight. She wasn't very clear on the thought process. But once she transitioned into a job or a career where she was moving back how she liked to, instantly your food is better, your feelings are better, right? You're more charged up as an O blood type, right? So you're more driven, more focused. That's why they're great as project managers and planners, and they're also business owners, entrepreneurs. Unorganized, right? So if you're unorganized, that means something within your puzzle, right? Your fitness routine, your food, or your environment is out of balance, T-Bone. So, we all know the things that we eat from day to day, right? We all know if we're working out or we're not working out or not giving our all, right? So something in that aspect, because remember, O blood types thrive with power and intensity. So if it's been a week and you've only worked out, say, one time, your body is not satisfied because you're not moving as much as it would like. So once you start increasing that, right, this is where we're going. Once you start increasing that as an O blood type, you start inching back up. Okay, so let's move on those areas, because you're very clear-headed. This is why you guys are very strategic, very analytical, very fact, like you guys break down the assignment very quickly. Yes, I went only one time this week. See, something told me, T-Bone. Yeah, so this is the thing, right? T-Bone as an O blood type. She worked out, right, one time this week, and we talked about not being organized this week, right? So that has a lot to do with it. So I want you to, we got to get on that 5-6 days, okay? Now, T-Bone, we need 5-6 days. Because when you are, right, you're able to, this is the only blood type. I would put my O's here and my B's here, that when you guys are actively energized, when you guys are really moving, right? Whether that be home, work, and or fitness, your body is in much better alignment. Okay, it's going to be thriving higher. So your decision making is quicker, your focus is quicker, your leadership is better. Okay, when you are thriving in those areas, I feel better doing at least 4 or 5 days. See, but you know these things, right? You just didn't know they connected to your blood type. So that's how your body loves to thrive at its highest. Okay, my B blood types. Okay, my B blood types that are in here. When you're out of balance, okay, you avoid structure completely. You don't want to be, I feel like you're trying to put me in a box. That's how y'all are. Okay, that's how y'all feel. You may feel inconsistent. Okay, you may pull back when you become inactive. So when you pull back, right, that means you're not going to do anything. That means you're not working out. Most of my bees that I'll have come on here and I'm like, are you guys working out? And you'll say, it's been some time, or no, I'm not working out. But we're focusing on the food, right? We're focused on taking out the things that are on our avoid list, but we're not working out. So if you have been eating, in line, utilizing your blood type, but you're not seeing the results, right, that you want to see, or your A1C is still high, your glucose is still not reading correctly, that's because the other things you need to come in balance you're not doing. So now, oh, that's cute. What's that? Oh, thank you so much. I love butterflies. That means that you're making those strides, right, but the out of balance comes from not moving. So now you're still going to stay here. Those results are still going to be stagnant, right? How can I work out past the pain? So that's where we assess, Colleen, the food, right? That's where we assess, am I taking out those things that are on my avoid list, or am I being passive, or am I procrastinating? I got to call it how I see it, right? Not all the time, but am I on removing the things that are toxic for my body, right? Because those things can cause me pain, right? That can look like arthritis. It can look like bloatiness. It can look like, fibromyalgia, all those things, right? So that's the thing. You have to remove not just one, but everything, your environment. Is your environment cluttered? Are you not traveling as much as you normally do? Are you confined to one area? Job, home, hey, Paulie, are you confined, right? Because we know our bees, we don't like being, my mom's a bee, she doesn't like being confined. She likes being at home, but she doesn't like being confined to doing the same thing over and over. So you got to assess all of those parts. We know what we shouldn't have. Yes, well, most of us do, T-Bone, most of us do, right? But if you look at things on a healthy perspective as far as food is concerned, right, one would not think I shouldn't have cabbage. One would not think I shouldn't have broccoli, or I shouldn't have chicken, right? It's been marketed as a great source of protein. So if it's something that you've been eating for 40 years and now you want to get more fit, you want to have more energy, you don't want to be fatigued, but you've been eating this particular thing for 40 years, how much are you willing to let it go? That's the thing, right? Because that's throwing your body out of balance. So as a B blood type, when you're in balance, right, you're flexible, you're easygoing, right? Your mood is very, not one note, but very calm, right? Your energy is balanced. You're very creative and adaptable. So I can take a B blood type and sit them in any state, country, sit them in any room. They are going to get along with the majority of the people. FYP, Auntie Renee, hey! They are going to be friends, or once they start talking, because bees, they'll sit back and chill, right? They're going to be able to adapt to any room I go sit them in. So that's the when someone said, "Do we have balanced blood types?" That is the B blood type. The B blood type is very balanced, but only when in alignment, right? Only when your body is feeling the way it should on all ends, right? Firing on all cylinders, as they say. So, and you enjoy more variety. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome in, welcome in. I only studied blunt type concept just a little bit, but it makes sense. Yes, T-Bone. So, because a lot of the information, right, that is out here is based in nutrition. It's lots of stuff about nutrition. That's why I say we all know predominantly what to eat, right? So this is what makes my company and myself different, because over the past 12 years, I've been able to dissect these things. I've been able to look at all blood types because I've worked with everybody. But I've been able to case study these things and really see the differences in the characteristics, because we forget that we also have embedded biological characteristics that help us move accordingly, right? So when your B blood types, when you guys are releasing the foods that don't work for you, start working out the way that your body is calling for you to do, setting up your environment, right, with your smells, with your colors, with your it could just even be as simple as plants, right? Having plants around you and flowers and things like that that help you thrive. Your body starts to come in balance. I am an O blood type with fibroids and my stomach stays bloated. Definitely can't eat dairy. But in Paulie, there's also other foods, very small refinements in foods that you can take out to also increase energy, lessen the fatigue. So it's not necessarily just dairy. No, but I wouldn't advise anybody to eat dairy. I don't, in any of my blood types, in all of my blueprints and structures and systems do not include dairy. Okay. Now, I may say that my B blood types can thrive off of certain things like cottage cheese or, goat cheese and things like that, but it's still very minimal once your body is in the maintenance phase of things. Okay. Right, Carolyn, you hit it on the head. So that is what it looks like when the balancer, right, the Voyager, the B blood type is in balance. Okay, so let's get to our ABs, because they are, yes, the rarest blood group, but they also are another peacekeeper. They're also the person that can be very adaptable in all of the settings. Okay, because they do have the A line and they do have the B line, which creates them being an AB, right? So ABs, when you guys are out of balance, these things may sound, you may go through these things, okay? So you may tend to overthink, whether that be a decision, a work, or a, food. You just overthink things in general, right? You may feel emotionally drained. We're recapping, so we keep recapping, guys, okay? You may feel emotionally drained or misunderstood. A lot of that, like I mentioned, could be in the relationship, it can be in the environment, but you say something and then somebody reacts and you're like, well, that's just not how I meant it. I didn't mean it that way. So you feel like people continuously misunderstand you, and you also may feel pulled in multiple directions. So if you're feeling like that right now and you are an AB, your body is out of balance, okay? In balance, what it looks like is you're more calm, you're more aware. These are my ABs. You're very logical and intuitive, right? You can just feel, or you'll just hear the answers that you need to make decisions. Okay, you're very observant. And you balance time alone and with people. Now, it's very essential for my AB blood types to prioritize time alone. That really brings your body back into balance. It helps to regulate your nervous system. So if you're around people at work, at home, school, wherever that may be, carve out a bit of time daily to have to yourself, and just put it in your calendar as off limits, or my time, things like that, right? So that you're able to rebalance yourself. Okay, so because my ABs, what they say, they pick up on everything. ABs can seriously pick up on everything if they're in line. As an AB, I need time or alone or I melt down. Absolutely, Phoenix and got Phoenix the goddess. And this is what a lot of people don't understand and why it's important when you are, especially in a dating or a marriage with an O blood type. And I'm gonna point out my O specifically with my ABs because for some reason you guys tend to match with the O when it comes to relationships, and they communicate and they sit differently than an AB, okay? So it's very important to teach them how to treat you, to help them understand why you need time alone, because it could be a trip, it could be a staycation, it could be in your corner of your home, whatever makes you feel most calm that you need to do daily, okay? That's very important for my ABs. So now let's get to a few of these questions here. T-Bone, my big thing is processed foods, right? So we have, of course, our avoid foods for different blood types. But when you get to processed foods, meaning it comes in a box, a package, or a freezer, right? Then you get to additives. You get to chemical. I don't want to say chemicals. It'd be chemicals, additives or preservatives, or citric acids, absorbic acids. You get to xanthan gums. You get all of those things in packaged food. So my AB blood types and my A's, when you're feeling out of alignment, you tend to start with the processed foods, okay? Everybody eats processed foods, but you gravitate more towards those things. So if you want to be in full alignment, you have to make the decision to let those things go. You are very welcome, Felicia. Yes. For my O's, and really look at someone pointed out when it comes to oats, right? Really look at where and what is on the food, right? Is it organic? Is it gluten-free, right? Because going back to my O's, right? You could not be working out. Now we're not eating right. Now our environment, we're sedentary. Now we got 3 things that's keeping us from being fully aligned. So you can start eating right, but now you're intaking gluten and simple sugars back down. Okay, so you really have to make a decision how high you want to reach. That's really what it comes with. That's why I always, when people, previously on the lives, right? People, I'm giving you the info. I'm giving you some trigger foods, like in our free guide. All my new people, don't forget to grab the free guide. It's in my link in bio, second tab. Okay, free guide in my link in bio, second tab. For those who don't have the guide, but it's not just food, right? It has to be I'm sorry, I'm trying to grab my charger. It has to be a combination of all 3. Environment. You could be working out, you can be eating good, but your environment is toxic. Your environment is not set up for your nervous system. It's going to keep you stagnant. Yes, you may lose 15, 20 pounds, right? But then the next year, right, something happens and we're back here. So how I've been able to maintain a 100-pound loss for 16 years is because now at one point I was hit by a semi truck, right? I had to also recover. I had to grieve a career, right? Being a hairstylist, teaching cosmetology, not performing that in the capacity that I was used to for over 25 years. That I was here knocked me back down, right? So because now I'm sedentary, which is okay for an A blood type, but mentally overwhelmed, mentally unfocused. So in order to be in full alignment and to be able to thrive, keep the weight off, stay, day to day, because stress is going to come in, but understanding how to navigate the stress, you will find yourself continuously out of alignment. O's are very social, yes, and they like being out a lot. Yes, I have dated a lot of O's. Yes, O's, they love being out. They love to be, and listen, it's okay, O's love to be the center of attention. They typically are the center of attention. Because they're looked at, they have great leadership qualities. That's why a lot of them are entrepreneurs. A lot of them are business owners, or also motivational speakers. You can do this, follow this plan. I have the strategy. That's their nature. It's in their it's in you guys. It's in your biological characteristics. Okay, this is something that is ingrained in the way your body moves. That's why understanding how to use your blood type is key. Because some people think, well, I'm just really good at that. I don't know. It just comes to me. No, it's in you. It's in it's in your DNA. Okay, that is what it is. Let's see. Thank you so much, Reggie, for sharing the live. And the hair is V on it. Say, got the little sunshine coming in. While I'm a licensed cosmetologist. A's, and that's why I say, T-Bone, A's and O's. We're right on the lines to and understanding how to balance each other, and also having a lot of the same careers. You'll find a lot of A's and O's are musicians. B's are musicians also, but they typically are in the background. But they're entertainers, I should say. Then A's and O's typically are entertainers, very good at being creative and inventing things. What else I would say with them? You guys, we interpret things very well. But going to my O's, okay, I'm just going to point out some things. They tend to be my A's, okay, we tend to be teachers. You may be in healthcare. You may be a hairstylist. You may be a graphic designer, right? That's also an O blood type. You may, what else are some other ones I have jotted down here? Wellness or holistic. I mean, as I am an A blood type. Also, I know, there's another lady that does blood type her here in Atlanta, and her, I think her name is Vitamin Lady. I believe she's an A blood type as well. So that's very common in that blood type, right? Going to my O blood types. Do I have any O's on here that are entrepreneurs or coaches or athletes? Do I have any military, any law enforcement? Just throw a 1 in the chat if that's you and you're an O blood type. Just throw a 1 in the chat if you have any military or law enforcement background. If you are in leadership or sales, throw a 1 in the chat for me if you are O blood type in those areas. Athletes, coaches. Rich Risings, Mocha, good to see you. FYP, hey. If you are an accountant and you are an O blood type as well, throw a 1 in the chat for me. Those are going to be some of the I'm doing amazing. How are you? Those are going to be some of the roles that you may find yourself in at the moment, being an O blood type. Now, my B blood types, amazing teachers. I'm going to tell y'all a story. My son, I found out when he was 7 years old, and I started to dissect the way that he learned and understood that he was very creative, very imaginative. He needed, music and extra time and things like that to bring his nerves down, right? Because again, we think of it just being anxiety. And I found that when he had a blood type A or blood type B, because yes, I asked, teachers, he performed the best. When he had a teacher that of a blood type O, essentially he felt pressure. O's are very directional. So the way that they teach, they have a creative side, but they have a plan that they follow at all times. And that is where the disconnect between my son and his teachers, specifically when it came to math. So when I switched him back to his teacher that I love, that he had for 3 years, he Allison, I'll get to that. He also thrived. So he went from a D in that particular class to immediately the next quarter having a B plus is what he had in that class. So it's not necessarily that the old teacher was bad. It was just the way that he was moving through the way he was teaching was not conducive to my son, right? So y'all get a little bit more active in the chat for me so I can stay away from these puzzles. So when your body results to like an autoimmune, like sickle cell or lupus, like we're seeing someone put in the chat, having sickle cell traits and things like that, you have to look at alignment. You have to look at what you're eating, how you're moving, whether it be too much or not enough. Typically for my A's, we move in too much, mind wise and physically. And you have to look at your environment. I can't preach that enough. Environment is the biggest part of the puzzle, because a lot of us have been forced in this world to be in career positions that bring in financial gain, right? We are financially secured by the job or career that we have, but that particular job or career could be opposite of what your nervous system or your body likes. So for instance, right, you're in a fitness boot camp or circuit training, and it's very quick, it's very intense, it's very powerful. My A blood types, have you been in any type of workout like that? Throw a one in the chat for me. My A blood types, have you or do you work out in a boot camp or a HIIT or a high intensity environment right now? Put a one in the chat for me. It has a lot to do with it. Absolutely, Mocha. And that's why I want you guys to not just think it's nutrition. It's not just, what are my highly beneficials? What are my neutrals? What are my avoids? It's, what role does that play when I'm working out, when I'm in this particular environment? So if you are a blood type and you are working out right now and you have boot camp class or fit or HIIT or a high intensity class, throw a one in the chat for me. Because then I'm gonna get to every blood type. Throw a one in the chat for me if that's you. Do I not have anybody? Do that mean my A's are not working out? Does that mean my A's are not working out, or y'all at work and can't respond? I'm gonna move to my O blood types. My O blood types, how many of you are in a sedentary position career-wise? Yeah, because my O's gonna come on through. How many of my O's are sedentary at the moment? If you're an O and you're sedentary, put a one in the chat. Whether it be career, yeah, it's gonna have to be career. Not working out, not really. Okay, if you're not working out or you're in a sedentary career, put a one in the chat. It could be either of those two. Sedentary career or not working out at the moment. Put a one in the chat for me. If you are an O blood type, O blood types only. One, okay. I see you, Halil wife. I see you, and you on point already. Okay, there go my O's. Not working out or in a sedentary lifestyle. Throw a one in the chat. Whether that be your work, has you confined to an office, or you work from home. A lot of you guys work from home. Any of those circumstances, throw a one. So I see two ones. Okay, so you're on the opposite end of what your body needs. So if you do feel, going back to our list, and we have a few more minutes here, going back to our list, if you feel right now that you are irritated, if your motivation is low right now, if you feel that your energy is blocked or anything of that nature, if you feel that your results are stagnant, like maybe you've gained weight or you're not losing weight, if you are feeling like that, my Queen McQueen and Polly, it's because your body thrives on movement. Your mental clarity comes from movement. So you have to assess those areas, okay? Whether it be getting you a new position, okay? Or starting a new business, okay? Because y'all are great at being an entrepreneur as well. So, whatever that is, or getting out of the office more, or just making your office more conducive, meaning getting a standing desk, getting a walking pad, getting weights at the desk, getting an ab ball, getting movement in throughout your sedentary day, okay? So if you work from home, you're on that treadmill working, or you have to continuously move, okay? So that your body can start moving into balance. Yes, I just need to stay consistent. That's it, T-Bone. And once you fall in line with that consistency, your body will start to perform at its highest level, because it's all about getting to the highest frequency, the highest level of vibration that you can get to, the highest level of mental clarity, okay? So with my O's, start moving into that way. If you guys know the foods, okay? The foods are important. The fitness is important, but the environment also is, okay? So that is why, if you're feeling like this is something that you cannot do on your own, book a call with me. Okay, go ahead and get in your Align in 90 system. That way you have your accountability, you have your coaching, you have someone that has been in all of these areas and understands how to navigate you to the highest level that you're trying to get to. That would be me. And you do that by booking a call, by going to the link in bio and hitting the number one tab. Hello, hello, how are you? Is it Aza Renee? Aza Renee? Wait, is that Aja? Aja from where I know? We don't say it on here, but I know you. I see you sometimes. No, put a one in the chat if that's what it is. Okay, I thought so. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for coming to the live. Now, I don't know your blood type, but if you know, drop it in. We talked about being in alignment. Okay, so everyone, let's not just look at the food. Let's also not just focus on the fitness, right? Because a lot of us are eating well. Hello, Crystal. Good afternoon, O blood type. How are you? And speaking, Crystal, I hope you don't mind if I share a little bit, but I know Crystal works from home and she's been doing amazing at jumping on her rower every day, taking her time from her work and getting on her rower, utilizing her equipment that she has at home to get her movement. I'm about to go get some produce. That's what I'm talking about. We going to the farmer's market? Yes. So yes, so you have to just, make the decision because, I always say, and if you guys look at my profile, if you watch some of my videos, I've lived this life. Okay. I'm not just telling you guys things to do that I have not done myself. I've assessed my alignment. I know when I'm out of alignment and I know what I need to do to get back in alignment. So I want everyone to be able to recognize that. So when you look at those things, I always say it's about making a decision. It's not about a choice. People say, oh, in moderation. So in moderation means your body will always be out of alignment. That's what that means. So, according to your environment that's going to help you thrive, your fitness that's going to help you thrive, making that routine out of all of those three sides will continue to help you thrive over your life. It's not going to continue to keep bringing you back to a place of plateaus or a place of being stuck. Hello. What if you hurt too bad to move? That's when you start assessing those other areas, right? Queen McQueen, we got to assess the food area. We got to assess the environment area, okay? Because stress also puts tension in the body. It also, clouds the judgment or the mind or the clarity. Foods, right? You have things that are going to cause inflammation. You have things that are going to cause joint pain and arthritis or aggravate arthritis. You have things that are going to also throw you into an immune how do I say it, like lupus or sickle cell, right? That's an immune I can't even say it. Immune system breakdown. Yes, immune response. Thank you, Crystal. My own blood types. Listen, it throws you into those areas because the body does not know at that time what to do. That's why we are walking around with so much inflammation, meaning swelling, right, in our hands, in our legs, in our feet, in our face. We're fatigued, or hair or flare up. Yes. We're walking around that way because we have not assessed all sides. So it's just very important that we not just focus on food, but we focus on movement, right? Because that's what O blood types need. And my ABs and my A blood types, we focus on what are we eating or not. Right? Are we just snacking or nibbling? Are we going, 6 or 7 hours without eating? Is our body in a starvation mode? You have to assess all sides. And this is why I get so many people that come into my system, because you have all of the answers, but you don't know how to navigate them because you haven't been there, right? This is all new information for a lot of you. The food and nutrition by blood type is not new, right? A lot of this people can research and act, but it gets down to timing. It gets down to portions. It gets down to how many days of the week. And, how much movement are you adding to that? If you don't know those answers, then you need a coach. Okay, that is what it is. Okay, Ree is amazing, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Crystal. I can't wait to see these results you got going on over there. Listen, because I got my aminos right now, but I hit my okra water this morning. So, and again, even touching on that, right? We have the okra water and the magnesiums and the iron supplements and all of these things, right? But we're not getting to the root, right? The root may be, for my O blood types, your lifestyle, the lack of movement. So if you change all of the other things, but don't change that, then you're going to find yourself still hitting a wall, whether it be every 3 months, whether it be every 6 weeks. You have to be able to align this for your life because it's a lifestyle change. It's not anything you want to do short term unless you just want to keep losing 10 and 20 pounds for the birthdays or, but if you want to truly be without pain for the rest of your life and understand when it comes on how to navigate it and get back to where you were, you have to get your system. Okay, it's very, very important. Thank you so much for the hand heart, Dr. Amy. Oh, listen, y'all, I'm gonna just pin her because I've been in a few of her lives. And just such an amazing queen. I love the information that you place out is just it's life changing. I received so many confirmations on her lives because recently launching multiple platforms and working on a project and doing a lot of the things that that I've done in the past 2 years that she now is helping people do. We need more of us out here doing this. So align all of those things, not just your food, not just your fitness, but look at your environment. Make your environment support you. Make it encourage and get you to a point of success. Don't let your environment destroy you, right? I work a part-time position as well, and when I go there, I don't go into the break rooms because they are loaded with unhealthy snacks, unhealthy food. So you have to know yourself, right? People say, "Oh, willpower," or be more disciplined. That has nothing to do with how you grew up, right? So like I said, if my B blood types have been eating this specific food for 40 years, and now I come in and I say, "Hey, you need to remove this, and this," and they're like, "Ugh, but I eat this every day." How do I expect, or how do you expect to navigate all of this when you're trying to figure out how to release something that you've had an attachment to for so many years? What's the thing to put in your water? Oh, I have something for you. Oh, you have something for me. What's the thing to put this water? This is aminos in this water, BCAAs and EAAs from oh my goodness, y'all. It's a vegan brand. I get the brand and put it in my story. I forgot. But yes, let me know. I'm here for it. I have a desktop crock pot warmer to avoid outside food. So that's again Phoenix the goddess. That's what I'm saying. You're making your environment support you, because if you have a drawer, now I'm not judging because I've been there now, right? Remember, I worked in a hospital for 14 years and wore and wore scrubs, and they was full with all the candies and cheese crackers and things like that. Okay, that what was in my pocket. So that environment did not support me. So therefore, I mean, I wanted to be a cosmetologist anyway, but I did not place myself or stay in that environment, right? I went to home health. I went to working with clients in their home because I understood that environment was going to destroy me. So putting that crock pot on your desk is psychologically telling you I need to eat what I cook, not order in like probably everybody in the office. So yes, it's going to require effort, and it's going to require you making some daily decisions. But oh yes, lemon in the water. No, watch your lemon. You can do lemon in the water, Dr. Amy, but if you notice after drinking it for some time that your stomach just feels upset, then back off because your acidity is already high. So you don't necessarily need the lemon water, but I would say if you do like steak or just really meats that take a longer time to digest, to do a hot, everybody can do a hot glass of lemon water, or either for my O blood type, slice some pineapple. That is actually a really great enzyme, and it helps you digest the meat much better, because y'all know steak takes 6 hours, okay? 4 to 6 hours to digest. So think about that when you're sleeping, right? And then that's another thing, right? Your sleep environment. Is your bed comfortable? Yes, pineapples. No cucumbers. No cucumbers for my O's, T-Bone. Remember now, right? So see, this is the part, right? This is the one part of things that we're discussing, the nutrition side of things. So that small detail, right? The cucumbers, the small detail, which are great and thriving for my A blood types, my AB blood types, and my B blood types, but does not help O blood types thrive when it comes to breathing. So those are the things and why y'all need to book y'all calls because you want to make sure that there is nothing in your way from getting you from here to here. Nothing in the way, right? And y'all see I can't lift my right arm all the way up, right? That's from the accident. But that's a major thing, right? But going back to your sleep environment, does your sleep environment support you? Because you do have to get up and thrive the next day. So if you're not eating according to your digestion for bed, now when you think you're asleep, your body is digesting. Now you wake up restless, you're tired, you're stiff, you can barely move. Your bed not comfortable, your pillow is not comfortable. So all of those things, make sure that your sleep environment, even down to the temperature, right? If no sleep up all night, come on, Queen McQueen, right? So when you made the comment of how do you push past the pain, that pain is also being influenced by the lack of sleep. So this is why you have to have all of the puzzle, all of the pieces to the puzzle. So, you have to start doing a audit of your home, right? When you walk into the home, do you feel energized? Do you feel that your spirit is still light, or does it take it down a bit? Just assess that over the next couple of weeks. When you enter different rooms, whether it be work or your home office or your living room or your bed, your bedroom, is it comfortable? Right? Do you feel at ease when you rise? Do you feel loose? Do you feel energized? Does your eyes just open, or do you have to hit the alarm 4 or 5 times because you don't feel rested? That has to do with the other two combinations, the fitness, the food. Yes, Queen McQueen. So it's a huge puzzle. That's why I really wanted to retailor the lives, and not because I don't want to just give you guys the information on the food. You know the food. You know simple sugars. You know processed foods. Now, when it comes to refinement, like the cucumbers we mentioned, mint, I didn't hit that, but that's great to place in water. Also in your juices. A small plug, the Juice Talks Blueprint is in the link in bio. But that's also a good way to have the mint. But it's very important to understand what could be disrupting your sleeping, what could be keeping you from getting that extra 5 pounds that you working so hard in the gym for. It's small things, okay? What do ABs do in terms of activity? So remember I said with the ABs, right, being in balance, right? Remember prioritizing the time alone, right? That it's all about your nervous system. So prioritizing your time alone. So no, power and intensity would be the opposite for the ABs, Phoenix the goddess. But if you want like specifics, book your call with me. I have everything that you guys I'm speaking of today. The Align in 90 system entails all of it. So once you get your system aligned in 90, you're going to have the environmental peace blueprint. That's going to tell you how to set up your home, what scents, right? Down to why I burn eucalyptus and spearmint when I'm on lives, right? The why is in the blueprints, right? It's going to help me balance my nervous system. So I know my scents. I know my colors. Why do I have a white couch with soft greens and yellows? Because I gravitate towards that. It brings me energy, right? So why do I drink lemon water in the morning? Because I have low acidity. It sets up the digestion path for whatever I eat the rest of the day. So these things are inside of the system that I offer for you guys. So the fitness and the fitness and weight management blueprint takes you from weight loss to weight gain to lean muscle building. All of that is in that blueprint. The other blueprint, the food and the nutrition, that's going to have all of your super beneficials, your neutrals, your avoids, your timing, your time, like the times of the day, how to combine it with your workout blueprint. So everything you need to live your life at the highest alignment that you can do when you commit is going to be in the system. That's why it's a one-time investment. Do you eat strawberries? Strawberries, I'm an A blood type, T-Bone. So I was told strawberries is a no for O blood types. So everything in the blueprint, right? I'll specifically speak to when it comes to O blood types and fruit, right? Your body metabolizes that at a certain part of the day, right? So it's not going to be something that you indulge or eat in all day like I can. So me being an A blood type, my body is going to thrive on an influx of fruits and vegetables versus you guys are more in the blues and reds family, right? So that's why on the list I'll have for you is this is something that you keep on your phone when you go to the grocery store. That's why I say it's a transition. Align in 90 is for you to align your life, your environment, your food, your fitness, utilizing your blood type for life. So when you go in the grocery store or the market, you have your blueprint on your phone. You're only picking from the supers and the neutrals. That avoid list, it may look good to you, like, ooh, I'm gonna grab that, my A blood types, right? We love a lot of different fruits that are not on our list. And we're going to stay clear from it. So, it's going to tell you the times of the day. It's going to tell you how to keep your nervous system in balance. So there is no more guessing, because a lot of the times that's what we're doing now. We're receiving so much information from different people, and a lot of it is right. A lot of it is correct. But how do you use it? How do you navigate it? And that's why it's important to have a coach and understand how to do it so that you don't have to do this ever again, right? You can navigate and utilize these things throughout your lifestyle. That's why I tell people all the time, and you guys met Sharon on a few lives before, and she's been with me over 15 years, right? She's been through this whole journey with me and understanding and utilizing her blood type this way. So for 12 years, she's had her blueprints. It's coming on 13 years this year. She has never had to invest anything else. So once you do that and you get the things that you need, the guessing is now, it goes away. And now you implement. So getting the information, implementation, take action. That's really what it is. That's the same thing. Implementation and take action is the same thing. But you can have all of this in your hand. Like, it's a lot of this is on the web when it comes to nutrition. I will be honest, when it comes to environmental, when it comes to the fitness, down to the way that I've detailed it, it is not on the internet. You will not find it, because I've had to do case studies over the last 12 years to be able to create this blueprint for you. So it's something that's not out there. It wasn't in my National Academy of Sports Medicine training. When I received 4 separate certifications on fitness, it was not in there. But being able to utilize that education along with blood type has allowed me to create Align in 90. Fellow A there. Hey, so let's do a light recap before I jump off, right? Because I'll be back a little bit later. But let's do a light recap, right? So out of alignment with my blood type, starting with my A blood types, y'all. And y'all see how I got to have these notes, because y'all know I go on a tangent. But if you're overthinking, right? If you're mentally overstimulated and you have so many things you want to do, you just don't know how to make the decision, that means that you're out of balance. If you have anxiety or tension or stress in the hip area, meaning that it's extremely tight, your body is out of alignment. If you're finding that you're shutting down or withdrawing from people, from places, like, people are inviting you and you're like, nah, I'm good. Like, I really don't want to go. That is going to tell you that you're out of alignment. If you're feeling overwhelmed or pressured, that could be from work, that could be from home or people, your body again is out of alignment. Okay. So to get you in alignment, you want to get to a place where you're normally, when you're in alignment, you're doing these things. You're thinking calmly and clearly. Your creations and your inventiveness is at its all-time high. So you're being able to produce things creatively quickly. Okay. I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna come back to the questions, but let me get through this for you guys right here. Okay. You're able to read people and environments well. Okay. Now y'all still got to work on interrupting folks, but you're able to read in between the lines and people very well as an A blood type when you're in balance. Okay. And you're also thoughtful and present. So you're not worried about what's happening tomorrow. You're able to live and understand and be clear in the present when you're in alignment. Okay. Food, fitness, and environments. When you're in those things and those things are at its all-time high, you're thriving. Okay. My O blood types. If you are sedentary right now, you are out of balance. If you're not moving or working out consistently, you are out of balance. Okay. You're not thriving at your highest. When you have motivation that's low and you're not finding that that you are how do I say what I want to say the word right, so give me just a second. Executing things efficiently and quickly, you are out of balance. If you feel that your energy is blocked, you are out of balance. It doesn't mean you're out of balance in all of the areas. It just means you're out of balance either in your food or in your fitness, or your environment is not supporting you. Okay. When you're in balance, you are very energized and active. Okay. That's when you feel the clearest and the best. You're clear headed when you're moving, which I just said. You're very driven and focused. Like the task that comes in, you are completing them efficiently and quickly. And your body is releasing the stress physically. Okay. That's when you're in balance as an O blood type. Okay. Moving on to my balancers, my B blood types. Out of balance, okay? And y'all see me just take a real deep breath, right? Because I'm moving a little quick. So out of balance for my B's, you are inconsistent in your day-to-day activity, okay? You don't feel like doing much. You're pulling back, or you're withdrawing from activity, and you avoid structure completely. If my B blood types, hey, Mystery, if my B blood types are feeling like that, you are out of balance. Because when you are in balance, you are much more easygoing. You're more flexible with decisions or with people. Your energy feels and seems balanced. And you are creative and adaptable, meaning, like I said before, I can place you in any situation, whether it be work, whether it be a new environment, and you are going to be able to get along with everyone predominantly in that room. Okay. B blood types are very, though that's that person where you like, oh, I know I ain't gonna have no problems out of her, or I'm not gonna have no problems out of him. That is that person. Okay. That's a B blood type. And you will also start to enjoy variety. Okay. When you are in balance. My AB blood types, okay, getting to the last, the smallest, the rarest blood group. Remember, I'm not saying the rarest blood type. The rarest blood type is O negative, okay? The rarest blood group is AB. When you are out of balance, you are overthinking, you are emotionally unstable, or emotionally drained, not unstable, that's the wrong word, emotionally drained, okay? You are also feeling as though you're misunderstood. And you feel that you're pulled in too many directions. Like you, and in ABs, you guys are not the type to say no. So when you are taking all these things on or fitting all these things into your schedule, your body is going to start being misaligned, okay? Because you're making a way out of no way, as they say, right? You're fitting things in to where you need to actually have that time, okay? So when it starts taking away from your alone time, or it starts taking away from what's already in the schedule, that is going to throw you out of alignment, okay? When you're in aligned, you are more calm and aware, okay? You're more intuitive, making decisions clearly, not just kind of going with the flow. You're very observant. And you also know how to balance that time between people and being alone, okay? So yes, at the expense of ourselves, Phoenix, the goddess, exactly. ABs are that blood type is, they will do things out of the expense when it comes to them. Like they would just be like, you know what, don't worry about it, go ahead. Oh, you need it, okay, go ahead. I wanted it, but you want it, and that's something that you guys really have to train yourselves to not do. Because that quickly sends you into being unaligned, okay, very quickly. So with those things, start paying attention to those, you guys, over this next week, and really start to assess, really do that audit of your home, your work, the people that you are around or listening to, even when it comes to TT, right? Whatever is pulling you or you're resonating with. I know a lot of this can be entertainment for some, but it also can be draining your energy, okay? So if it's not anything that is giving you energy or making you feel well, whether that be the news on TV, whether that be music in your car on the radio, whether that be somebody in your life that might be sleeping in your bed. let that go. Okay? Whatever that may be, okay? Let it go, or try to start phasing. Don't try, do. Phase them out of your life and be okay with it. Okay, TikTok, I'm serious, because we know we get to scrolling, and we know we get to, people be loud, and you might just jump on, and if you know that you have to do something at 5 6 in the morning, and somebody is on live to 3 a.m., it may not be conducive to your lifestyle. Okay. So we have to just start utilizing all of these things, putting them together, and then from there, being able to execute the highest level of clarity that we want. So I'm just gonna go back through. I'm good when in balance. Absolutely, Mystery. And see, and with you being able to recognize that, that is where you really cannot falter from it. People say, well, you're acting funny, or you usually say yes, or what's another one? What normally you do. I'm not being normal no more. Okay, right. Now I'm better than you. Yes, I am. So it's okay to you don't owe anybody anything, y'all. We do not owe anybody an explanation on why we're getting healthy, why we're working out as much or as little as we're doing, and why we're changing our home from darks to lights, why we're taking a trip by ourselves or with whoever we want, or with whom we want to take it with. We don't owe any. You have one life and you're living it. Can somebody else come live your life? Well, then they can't come and make the decisions for you. So that's how we have to start looking. And if you're in a place that you feel stuck, whether it's food, whether it's fitness, whether it's, I don't know if my environment is doing what it's supposed to do, again, book your call. Okay. It's the number. That's why I keep it as being the number one tab in my link in bio, is booking that call so that you guys can stop guessing, that you can get all of the information, not just a piece of it. Because yes, I can continue to keep giving you pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces and pieces, but you will never have it all, right? Or you have to keep taking those. Or this could be 6 months. If you want to lose weight, say you want to lose 50 pounds by, you put a date on it, right? Say you want to lose 50 pounds by September. I can keep giving you all this information, and then by September we could have already lost the weight. Oh yes, you are talking good. Yes, I talk good, I live good, I move good, and that is why I have been blessed the way that I have been blessed, right? Because I don't focus or worry about who likes or who is we all have our people. We're all placed with gifts to come out here and serve and help others. And the people that come in here are the people that most likely either need to hear this or need me to help them, or whatever the case may be. You're in here for a reason, okay? Or is it different levels? No, let me go back. I'm sorry, because I've been I'm trying not to focus. If I focus on the comments, I'm gonna start answering all these comments. Okay, people act entitled to our time. Absolutely. They definitely do. I'm going back up. Facebook or IG, all of the things, okay? All the scrolling. I have a video on the tube that talks about the scrolling and the snacking and things like that, right? So don't forget, y'all, minor plug, go follow me on the tube, okay? It's in my link in bio. So coming back down to the other questions here, how much is the program? So for Blood Type Fit, the Align in 90 is a system. It is not a program, because right. And I know people normally say program, Polly, so I'm not coming at you with that. I'm saying, because I have to tell you guys the difference. The program always has an end date. It always has something for you to come back for. I don't have that for you. I have a system that I have been utilizing for 16 years to maintain 100-pound loss, to have increased energy, to wake up with no alarm, to, have the mental clarity that I have. That is the system that I provide. It is a one-time investment, depending on what level you're ready for, whether that be you have full commitment in time, effort, financial resources, then you can come in on my premium to offer, right? Or if you're just ready to get started and stop guessing, but you are not ready to fully financially invest at my premium offer, I have an offer for you as well. Okay, it's not the same system, but it's going to get you started. Okay, that is how it goes. So different levels, not necessarily, but I have different systems, because everybody does not require the same level of entry. You may have someone on here, one of you guys may be, no, I've been eating by my blood type for 10 years. I know exactly what I need to eat, but I never heard of the fitness side of it. Okay, you're coming in at a different level. So that's what I mean by when I say book a call. because I don't know what level you coming from. How long have I been doing this? I have been educated and certified for 12 plus years. I have been eating and working, well, eating by my blood type for 16 years now, because I keep saying 15, but I just turned 46. So 16 years. I found my blood type when I was 30. Once I lost 100 pounds, everybody was coming at me like, help me, show me, give me. I had no idea of the physical side. That's why I say, when people say, oh, I've been doing this, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, I had that book. And I also had another layout of what I was supposed to eat. But neither one of them were trainers. They didn't understand the fitness side of it. They just told me to walk. They told me to, do Tai Chi, to bike. That's what they told me to do. I like to work out. I like to lift weights. I'm very competitive. I play basketball. I like to shot put. So that wasn't enough detail for me. And then when I was lifting, which is why I ended up with more loose skin than my clients end up with now, is because I did not understand the amount of reps. I didn't understand my rest time or how many days a week I should be working out. I only learned that once I became NASM certified. So once I got my certified personal training certification, then I went into performance enhancement. I went into behavioral change, because now this is why I say everyone comes in at different levels, because there's a level of change, right, that a lot of people are not ready for. You may be in the contemplation stage. You may be just gathering all of the information. You want to change, but you're not quite there. Or you may be in the action stage. And my action people are going to come in. They're going to get that self-paced system. They're going to move on, and they're going to do everything that they need to do for the rest of their life, because they're already ready to make that decision. That is not everybody. So that's why I say book a call, so that we can find out where you are, where you want to go. And yes, it's going to be an investment. Of course it is, right? But what level are you ready to invest depends on you and when you see the system. So if you're not curious, but if you're interested in changing and aligning and removing the guesswork, then you need to book a call with me. Okay. And that's going to be the first tab in the link in bio. And then somebody else said, so I think I hopefully I answered that clearly for you. So professionally, I've been helping clients for 12 plus years. I just recently came on to social media this last 7 months, because I can't touch everybody. I love touching and working, in referrals and things like that. But I have clients in Australia now. I have a client in Singapore. Okay. Now, I would have never gotten those clients if I didn't come on social media. So, with my podcast, the weight of her story, I see throughout my analytics that there's people all over the world listening to this. So now I understand how important my purpose and my gift is. I did not always. So because I am in alignment, that clarity gets clear too, right? So that's the reason why I say it's very important to understand all aspects of utilizing your blood type, not just nutrition and not just fitness. Yeah, so thank you guys for letting me explain all of that and sitting here and listening to me explain it and getting out of my own way too, right? Because we all like to be comfortable. I've been placed in positions this last year that have made me uncomfortable, which is this being in front of the camera it was a very uncomfortable. I no longer say it because I need to move away from being uncomfortable, but it forced me to face a lot of the things that I had been going through in my life, and really putting it out there makes it even more real, right? So that's why you guys see my testimony. You see my journey from being overweight from the age of really 12, 13 years old, being addicted to sugar for 17 years, starting at 9 and 10. So a lot of these things are what people are going through right now, and so it's very important for my assignment for me to be here and do what he's telling me to do. So that is why I'm here, y'all. You are very welcome. So let's do an audit, okay, y'all? Let's do an audit this week on our environment, sleeping, our bedrooms, our living rooms. Just really, really pay attention to how you feel. When you eat certain foods, pay attention to how you feel. Are you having gas? Look at the birds. Thank you so much. Chirpy kisses. That's cute. Are you having excessive bloating? Are you having gas? When you eat lemonade, does it smell real bad? Right? Is your urine gold or bronze, right? That's another body signal indicator, right? pH is low. Do we have hiccups? Do we have acid reflux? Do we have does anybody have ulcers? Anything? Do we have eczema? I'm trying to think of all the other ones. Are we fatigued? Are we tired? Do I need 8 alarms to get up? Those are all the signals that is communicating to you, like, hey, something I don't like. I don't like food. I don't like the way you're moving. I don't like the way you're thinking. I don't like your environment, right? Those are the signals that we have to pay attention to. So let's do that over this next couple of days. Of course, y'all know I've been going live a lot lately. So I want you guys to sit with that. If you are ready and you want to make a decision now, you guys already told you how to do it. If you don't have the free guide, make sure you go to my link and you get the free guide. It's the second tab, okay? What time? What time am I going to go live? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday, right? Y'all, I don't be knowing my days, y'all. It just be moving. Tomorrow is Sunday. Okay, so I will be back live. What did I come on today? 11. Let's do I gotta wait, hold on. I got my fellowshipping. Let's do 12, okay? Because I got to make sure I be watching Pastor Mike, y'all. Or either, I got Myron Golden. I love the Bible study for Myron Golden. I don't really fellowship as much like in a church setting, but I love to the interpretations and the teaching that I receive from a few people on YouTube. So that's where I actually fellowship a lot of the times. So I'll be on after that. So let's say 12 o'clock. If y'all go brunching and lunching, remember the foods that I told you in the previous lives not to put on the plate, okay? Pay attention to how you feel after you eat. Are you instantly tired 10 to 15 minutes later? We call it the itis. That's not normal. Do you have energy, right? What are some other ones that I want you guys to pay attention to? How many hours of sleep are you getting? That's a big one. Let me ask real quick before we head out of here. Just put the number of hours that you tip. Pastor Mike, come on. Pastor Mike he be ready. I would tell you, it's a mind shift, right? It's a mind shift, and you have to let go of what you're used to, what you've been taught, and what we have been ingrained as being normal. Once we let that go, you can change and do anything. 5 or 6. Okay, put the number of hours that you get every day. Just roughly. Everybody in the chat, all 29, just throw a number out here. 6 to 7. Okay, 5 to 6. Okay, just throw some numbers. I don't sleep well at night. Okay, so we're not getting no sleep. Okay, 5 to 6. Okay. Anybody else want to share? I was at about 5 before as well. I was at about 5. I could function off of 4. That I thought I could function off of 4, but I was at 5. 7. Okay, Mystery. Okay. You work midnight. Oh, Lord. Okay, you working when the moon is up. That's all right. Sometimes we have to, but again, we have to look at that environment, right? 4, okay, McQueen. So that's a big one for you. That's huge for the way your body is feeling, okay? So I'm gonna tell y'all, we had them firing in, right? We seen 4, we got 5 to 6, 4 to 5, 4 hours. So the amount of rest that your body needs is 7 to 9 hours. That is digesting and recovering the body, joints, ligaments, mentally, everything, right? We got another 5. 7 to 9 hours is what you need. I know we've heard, 5. I've heard, you just make sure you get 6 hours. You need 7 to 9. Now, the other thing I want, anywhere from 4 to 8, but waking up every few hours at 3 a.m. So waking up is another sign that your body is digesting. So this is what I want you guys to also do, right? We almost at 30,000. Analyze what you're eating before bed. Is it 4 to 5 hours before, right? If we have chicken takes 3 to 4 hours to digest. Steak, 4 to 6 hours to digest, depending on what type of steak you get. Fish, 1 to 3 hours to digest. What's another meat, y'all? Salmon, 2 to 3 hours to digest. So if bedtime is 9 or 10, how many of us is stop eating at 5 if we got meat on our plate? If we're eating at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. and we go to bed at 10 p.m., that's 3 hours. Chicken take 3 to 4 hours to digest. So if you had steak, when you go to sleep, your body is actually digesting because that takes 4 to 6 hours. And we went to sleep within 3, right? So let's look at that too. And then see if your sleep quality improves. So bring that. I'm going to start tracking my sleep hours. Absolutely, T-Bone. That's what I want to hear right there. Start tracking your sleep hours because that's something that I looked at and I was like, oh my God. I literally have like an hour before, like they would say, I'm gonna sit up for a little bit. Y'all heard that? I'm gonna sit up for a little bit before, because I just ate before I go to bed. It'd be 2 hours. Y'all watch a movie and then y'all ready to go to sleep, right? Hey, Andrea, that was me. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch the rest of this movie, then I'm gonna go to sleep. It really only has been an hour and a half, 2 hours, right, T-Bone? So that's what we have to look at when we talk about sleep quality. That's one of the things, right? And then just imagine if we're eating things on the avoid list before we go to sleep. Right. So this is things that I coach and talk about when people are inside of my system. Okay. We breaks it all down because I don't want nobody guessing. When they get the blueprints, you get all this information. Now you still lost. No, we have to figure out how to navigate this stuff, navigate this information, and then start connecting the signals with the communication with our bodies. Now we feeling good. Does digestion include social media? Yes, it does. It does. But also your body can't digest when it's not in rest. Right? It can't digest. Oh, that's a bar right there. Your body cannot digest when it's in well, I forgot what I said, y'all. It sounded good in the beginning, but I forgot. I eat dinner around 6, done after that. And what time do you go to sleep, Mr. Oh, you said 7 hours, so you right in pocket. I forgot T-Bone that quick. That's how my mind be moving. I forgot. So, Mysteria, you're on point. Oh, except okay, hold on now. Well, snacks win. Because see, that's another thing we're gonna talk about this on another line and get down deep into it, right? Because once we eat a meal, the meal is there. What we snacking for? Because we left off something. Oh, see, okay. So it was something off of that plate that did not, because you're a B blood type, right, Mystery? I believe you're a B blood type, right? Your body cannot digest when it is, come on, when it's not in rest. Yes, that's the bar. Thank you, Phoenix the goddess. This is it right here, y'all. This is it. That's it right there. Okay. So yeah, because y'all like this. Listen, y'all like a little snack. Now, is there anything in that? Because I done had an almond kind bar before, and it has chocolate on it too, right, Mystery? So is it something? Something I'm gonna tell you. Something is on that plate that you eat that is not complete on why you have a snack at 9 o'clock. Okay, that's the one part. And then also we have to dissect, is it a feeling of something sweet? Come on, you was in my thoughts. You was in my thoughts. So that's a lack of vitamins and minerals. That's what we have to look at. So that plate was incomplete. See, y'all, it be so good, y'all. It's like when you in church and the pastor said, I'm not a pastor. I'm just saying when somebody get good and I feel like, oh, I want to tell y'all something, but listen, I got to go. I got to go to the gym, y'all. But listen, this is how deep it gets, right? I'm a sweet eater and a meat eater. That's my issue. Yes, O positive and A positive, baby. We love all the positive antigens love and gravitate towards a little bit of sweet, okay? My negatives, they tend to like a lot of food and salty for some, and most of them, okay? Not all, but most of them. But I don't eat dessert. Well, that's your dessert right there, right? Because it has a little bit of chocolate, it has a little bit of crystallized, it had the almonds. So that's enough of the sweet for you. You too, Crystal? Okay, yeah. I was. That is how y'all, we gonna extend. I gotta go to the gym, y'all. But I'm gonna tell y'all, right? That was what I was taught. So that could also be a cultural thing. If you think back, right, in your household growing up, was dessert presented after dinner? Because in my household, it was. Some households were like that, where, once you eat your food, we ready for ice cream, or we're ready for the dessert, or we're ready for the pie. Okay, Andrea says yes. McQueen says yes. T-Bone says yes. So, okay, my granny did. Come on. So this is why I really touch into comfort or emotion psychology with food, right? That is how we were taught. That's a cultural thing. So that's a pattern that you have to within identify, which we all did. We just identified it, right? That's what it was. It's a pattern. And then we have to figure out what to place in what to put in place of that pattern. So for me, when I was really trying to get off sugar very badly, I would brush my teeth with the nastiest toothpaste I could find because I needed that to get out of my pattern. That's a pattern. It's not even necessarily what you eat or what dessert you grab or you get. It's just the pattern. You just know it needs to be something. So that, and then think about it as when you go to sleep, right? That's what people gain and that's where they lose. So you're either going to substitution. Exactly. So it's either at that time after dinner, we're going to go for a walk. We're going to brush our teeth. We're going to come in and do a core workout. We're going to do some journaling. So, it's just those little things that those nuances that you notice that will break and create a new habit for you or a new pattern for you. So I'm telling you, I struggled 17 years. Like every day, I'm still implementing these tools, whether it be journaling, whether it be going for a walk, whether it be me jumping on my mat. If I flip my phone, a lot of people don't realize if I flip my phone, you see that in the middle of the floor, right? People say, my mom will come over and she'd be like, can you fold that mat up, clean up, get up? No, that is a psychological thing for me, right? It has been there and it will remain there when I get in a space where I feel that I'm overwhelmed. Right now, I'm working on 5 projects. I have things that I'm going to do. I have things starting. So mentally, I've placed it there so that when I'm done eating, I don't revert back into a space that I used to be in. So you have to find those things that replaces my urge for wanting to grab something sweet, right? And plus my vitamins and minerals are higher now because I juice, because I get those minerals and vitamins inside of the juice with the herbs. And that is what deters me from reaching. So that's why I say it's more than just the food. It's more than just the fitness or the environment. It is identifying your habits, your patterns, which we all have different ones, right? And then being able to push through those and get to a bigger, yes. Okay. So see, I leave my rower down after you told me that. So it's just what we all need is different. But once you're able to identify that pattern, like Crystal has done too, now you're able to link it together, right? So I don't go to grocery stores at nighttime. No matter if I'm missing an ingredient that I need for the next day, I'll wait to the light because I associate dessert with dinner and night. So because I know that, I keep myself out of certain environments. So, but you only get there over time. That does not come overnight. So this is what I talk about throughout the system. This is what I talk about throughout coaching. I'm not just going to come online and train you. I want to come online and talk about the day. Did anything go wrong? Did you feel off balance the day before? How can we move past? How can we identify that to move further throughout your journey so that you don't continue to keep reverting back to an old habit or pattern? So that's how you become successful for 16, 17, 18, 30 years. Okay, so that's the thing. One, I cut the dairy, perfect. Chips, cookies, simple sugars, perfect. I just did a video like that on actually I think I posted that today or yesterday. Other than, okay, my stomach stops hurting and getting bloated. So exactly. So you're paying attention, Paulie, to the way your body felt when you ate those things. And then when you removed them, you instantly understood that is what was hurting your stomach. That is what was making you feel bloated and bad. But sometimes we all know that we will have those feelings and continue to eat. So that's where you have to dive deeper. That's where you have to say, okay, why am I doing this? Right. But I couldn't figure out things by myself. Right. There's sometimes someone that, says something or you see something and you're like, man, that's why I do that. Right. So that's what I am here to do, y'all. This was an amazing live. I do have to get to my incline walk, okay, and my core, my dead bugs, and my bird dogs, and all of the things today. I see something. Hey, oh blood type. So I will be back a little bit later, trying to find alternatives that satiate my cravings. So that's the thing. Sometimes, and I'll say this, I'll leave y'all with this, and then I'll be back. Sometimes there is nothing that will say satiate your craving, right? There's going to have to be, it doesn't have to be the food. It could be an activity, or it could be just having someone to text and call. Y'all, my clients text me all day. Like I'm feeling a type of way, and I'll text one word back, and they'll be like, "Oh, thank you so much." So sometimes it's just the having that support and having that accountability and having the tools to navigate those those things. I'm not even gonna say issues, to navigate those feelings. That's a better way to say it. So yes, Queen McQueen, I'm so glad that this was a good help for you. Yes, you are very welcome, Phoenix the Goddess. It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for all you guys tuning in and staying inside of the live. And I will see you guys later on. Maybe today, and maybe a different style of panel. I'm going to start also doing like jumping on different dating panels, y'all, and giving a little bit of nuggets when it comes to biological characteristics. So you guys will see me in different lights, but welcome into Blood Type Fit. If you don't follow me on the tube, go follow me on the tube. Y'all know I can't say the whole name. It's in my link in bio at the very bottom. I am pushing to 1,000 subscribers over there. Plus, I put a lot more in-depth information that I cannot put on TT. So travel on over there and follow me over there. And I will see you guys again tomorrow at noon, okay? Where do you get the guide? Paulie, in the link in bio. So go to my profile. Open up that link. Okay, you're going to tap it. It's going to say open link. Once you open the link in my layout, you see the picture of me. You see all these tabs on the side. It's going to be your second tab. Same color as that triangle behind me. It's going to be that second tab. And it's going to say Blood Type Fit Free Guide. Okay, that's how you get it. All right, you guys. See you tomorrow at noon. For the rest of the day, let's start taking that audit and put yourself first and eat well. Okay, eat well and move your body. And I'll see y'all next time.